Ancient human remains discovered in a Riverdale neighborhood have been under 24-hour supervision for more than 9 months straight. Now, the cost of monitoring the site, as you can imagine, has soared, while little has actually been done to physically learn more about them.
The city says it's all about respecting Indigenous stakeholders, but an archaeologist is calling the lack of urgency disrespectful. Let's go live to our City Hall reporter Matthew Bingley, who's been looking into this story for us. Matt, what have we learned?
Well, Tracy, it's cost nearly $200,000 of city dollars to keep this tent under constant supervision round the clock for the past 9 months or so. The actual work, though, of identifying what is within this tent appears to be at a standstill, and the city refusing to offer details about what the holdup is.
This bright yellow tent has remained fenced off for over half a year, the city spending more than $190,000 to have it guarded around the clock.
A lot of curiosity. Definitely people slow down and take a look.
In January, maintenance crews discovered ancient human remains while working on water pipes in the same region as the Withrow Archaeological Site, where dozens of Indigenous remains and thousands-year-old artifacts were discovered in 1886. Following this discovery, the city was ordered by the province to secure the site and begin working with First Nations and archaeologists to identify the burial site. Neighbors have seen an archaeologist checking on the site from time to time.
He just comes and makes sure that the tent has no tears in it.
Yet it's unclear what else has occurred. The city is refusing interviews, saying its commitment to reconciliation requires it to respect formal agreements with First Nations. But a spokesperson says it has contacted all First Nations with an expressed interest in the matter, but won't say who that is or what is holding up the next steps.
Like, nobody's looking at this like as a serious matter. You know, we have 3 people. They're individuals who are laying in very terrible conditions. And there's no respect. It's completely disrespectful.
Tanya Hill-Montour is archaeology supervisor for Six Nations of the Grand River and advocates for ancestors when they're unearthed as their next of kin. She says, well, there's a need to respect individual Indigenous groups. The remains have been exposed for long enough.
To get this moving, I think we need to start opening up that conversation and get these Indigenous communities who have already stated they had interest in the project. And I'll be very disappointed and I'll be further heartbroken if these ancestors have to spend their winter in these conditions.
Now, because this area is so close to an archaeological site, Hill-Montour says there should have been an archaeological assessment that was done before this utility work began. The city says there was no legal requirement to do that, and they didn't think it was necessary because during all this residential construction, they thought that the ancient remains that were left behind were likely destroyed. That is obviously not the case here, and the city says it has since updated its standards for when it does work in the future. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Matthew Bingley reporting live for us. Matt, thank you.